Good morning. This is my situation right now. My tent kind of collapsed in the wind. So, yeah. We're obviously in a cloud this morning. It's 6 a.m. and this is the tent I was just getting out of. So I'm packing up my stuff outside. Luckily it's not raining right now. Really can't see a thing. Good morning. We made it through the night, but I'm wishing that I went with friends who night hiked last night, because they went slow but night hiked, and I was worried about visibility on those rocks, but I'm worried about visibility again, and now I'm alone. There's a trail ahead. It's called Hillside Trail 2.2 to Madison. Whew! Can hardly see anything. Let's just go and walk slowly. It's really, really windy. Good morning, and welcome to day 119 on the Appalachian Trail. We are Stick the Eagle, and we are headed northbound from Springer Mountain, Georgia to Knockatod, Maine. Today we're just trying to get to Madison Hut, up and over Adams, or the side of Adams, definitely not summiting Adams in this weather. So, pylon to pylon today. I was blowing away out there. I'm next to a rock right now. I really don't want to be that exposed. Can I get to Madison Spring? I don't know any of the other trails, and they're a lot longer than the path to Madison Spring. It just seems a lot windier than Hump Mountain. This is going to be a scary, scary morning. I'm here next to another rock face. The winds up just on the top of this rock face are terrible, worse than Hump Mountain. And if you were watching then, you know what it's like. So it made sense to me not to try to night hike and try to hike out in the morning, but I was not anticipating these winds. There's 2 miles that stand between me and Madison, and 400 feet of elevation gain, and over a course of a mile before it starts going back down again. I'm not going to be able to record any of it because it's all I can do just to stay on my feet. Moving down. Crazy. I am back below, or to the spot where I recorded my last segment, I think, towards a little bit out of the wind. It started raining up there. The rain was pelting me, and the wind just wouldn't stop. I was like, please, Lord, stop the wind. Oh man, that is impassable. That trail is impassable right now. So I think due to safety, I've got to just get to tree line and just bypass the AT and get to another trail. I can't even see the camera right now because my glasses are so fogged up and rainy. My phone has finally dried out enough to use it again. So I'm back in my tent, hoping that it stays up. Last night, this end had failed, so I tied that to a tree this time. I gradually put on some dry clothes and got in my sleeping bag to stay warm. So obviously the smart choice was to get a shuttle off Washington if my foot was feeling bad enough. But at the time, I was like, my foot's not bad. I can get to Madison okay, even though it's a little tight. What I should have done was night hike to Madison instead of be there right now. Because as you saw, it's not possible to get to Madison right now in these wind gusts. So I have a little bit of shelter with the rock that's out there from the wind. It's still quite windy here, but as long as my tent stakes hold, I should be good to hang out here for a while. I put on dry clothes, my puffy, basically my only dry clothes since my red shirt got soaked through in that driving rain and wind. So we're here holding out, and maybe I'll eat something now since I haven't eaten a lot recently. I can give you an update on my ankle as well. It was hurting a lot last night. This morning it just felt stiff, so I didn't want to put weight on it. But right now it's feeling okay. That was not the problem in getting over Mount Adams today. It was the wind. I am not going to make a break for it until this wind dies down a little bit more. I think it has died down a little bit, but it's still windy here, which means that it's windier up on the ridge. So I'm waiting a little while. I'm comfortable here. I'm dry here. I'm out of the rain. If it starts raining again, I think it stopped raining for the time being, but I'm alive here. I can survive here. I am comfortable. I was going to go down into the tree line trail, the Edmonds Cutoff, which is why I was going back here to the trailhead. And then I thought it was gonna go below tree line, but it doesn't go below tree line. So this is the most sheltered location where there's a flat spot to set up the tent, which is where I set up last night. At this point, I'm still wishing I had gone in the dark with the other two, but here I am. I'm safe here, so this is where I'm going to stay for now. Oh, and by the way, Z-Pack's tent keeps me dry. Yay! It's definitely raining again out there. You can hear it. So far, the Z-Pack's tent is holding tough. If that stake tied to a tree fails on me and this pole collapses, I don't know what I'd do in these conditions. Raining and super duper windy. I'm just praying that it holds because I'm safe in here. And I will stay in here. I am not going back out there because I was honestly scared for my life out there. Worst weather in the world, Mount Washington? Well, this is Mount Adams, but you betcha. I can believe it. Just about 12 o'clock, still sitting here in the tent. The wind's been dying down a little bit, but it's still raining out, so all my clothes are wet. I'm just trying to dry them out. So I figure it's still best to stay here for now. I'm safe. I've just been researching on Far Out, taking some trails down the tree line to bypass the AT on Adams and Madison to just get to Pinkham. And it was like, can I get to Pinkham today? If I can get below tree line as soon as possible, I think I'll be good because the hurricane force winds won't be up. But I'm reading comments and people say don't do it in wet weather because it's very slick and very steep. So all those comments in Far Out are kind of persuading me to just stay right here. There's also the perch shelter, which is 1.2 down from the Edmonds Coal cutoff, which is where I'm at. But again, there are comments that said don't do it in wet weather. It's very rocky, very steep. So I don't know. I feel safe here right now, especially since the wind has died down a little bit. The tent is shaking a lot less. So we'll see if I can make the 2.2 jaunt to Madison at some point today. I'm trying to dry out my red shirt by drying it there, by spreading it out. It's not really gonna dry, nothing's gonna dry. And I don't wanna go out in the wet weather in my only dry clothes. It's a little after 1. The wind is still winding, but it's a lot less. My trekking pole isn't shaking like it was before. I've been lying in my puffy and my sleeping bag, my only dry clothes, just kind of waiting it out. And my decision now is whether I should make a run for Madison Hut or stay partially uncomfortable here. I've been able to stay warm, but the run to Mizpah Hut seems appealing if the wind is a lot less than it was. Not knocking me over. If it's not knocking me over, I can get there. I can walk fine. There are so many things that are wet here from that rain earlier. I I was shivering before so much. And when I was just trying to get my tent put up, I was shaking. I thought I was getting hypothermia for a moment. I may have been before I got in this warm bag. Now I feel myself again. But I wish I knew if it was gonna rain again. I really don't want to put on these wet clothes in the wind. It's still windy. I checked the weather for today based off of the forecast yesterday from the video segment I recorded, because I don't have service. Otherwise, I'd be able to text somebody or look it up myself. But the weather forecast yesterday for today said that rain showers were most likely early. So I'm hoping that means that the rain has let off for now, and also the wind has let off, so that I can make this dash to Madison, to safety. I thought I wasn't going to get this part of the AT done. I thought I was going to bypass this because of safety. As well we should, for safety. But there was no obvious way around Mount Adams to get to Madison, or even down the hill into the Gulf that was easy with wet rocks. Tough call. It's not whether or not to leave. I think I'm good to leave based on the tent not shaking as much as it was before. There's only a few gusts that are a lot. The sustained wind is not as much as it was before. I really was scared that my tent was going to fall over while it was raining. Then I was like, what am I going to do now? But thankfully it held. My difficult call right now is whether to put on my wet clothes in this wind and 40s degrees temperatures. I'm estimating it's 40s out there right now, which does not seem safe, or wear my only dry clothes out there, which also could be extreme hazard if it starts raining again. Really tough call right now. Hey, at least my new Z-Pax tent kept me dry from the rain. That's a positive. Time to make a dash for Madison. It's 1:45, and I put my black shirt on. I'm gonna put my sopping wet raincoat on over this, but I'm keeping my green clothes dry. So pack, put on the cover there, put on my shoes, and I'm gonna get out there. The wind's died down a lot, so I think I can do the 2 miles now. Here's hoping, fingers crossed. Let's get to Madison. Hallelujah! I'm seeing some blue sky finally come out here in this wasteland of Mount Adams. Look at that, all of a sudden. I can see! I have never been more excited to see! I'm finally not in a cloud anymore. I was going from cairn to cairn. I was like, I'm not pulling out my phone until I get there. And now I can finally see. Thank God. God, if you bestowed that sunshine on me, thank you for all of us out here. Let's keep on hiking northbound the Appalachian Trail. Take a look at that, folks. I'm above the clouds right now. So there are still clouds down below. Look at all those clouds. That's so cool. That's so cool. There's a sign here. My goodness, if it isn't Mount Washington come out to play. What is this day turning into? This is so gorgeous now. It's beautiful out here. Yes, it's Washington over there. My glasses still have a little bit of water on it from starting in the rain when I packed up my tent and just sent it right up that hill that I was blowing all over earlier. And now it's beautiful out. I'm thankful for the sun, so thankful for the sun, because I was afraid I was gonna have to keep going in the fog, and I was going cairn to cairn at the start. Wow, how a day turns around. I'm so thankful for this sun right now. So thankful to be able to see. It's beautiful. When I settle down, I gotta eat something, because I haven't eaten anything since like yesterday lunch. Because I've been more scared than hungry. We're climbing up a rock pile on this beautiful day. It's really hard to believe this. See Washington again, and the inverted clouds out there. Today's tip is when it's not safe to keep going, when you feel like you're in danger, turn around and go back to a shelter place. I turned around this morning and went to reset up my tent. It took about 10 minutes to get all the stakes to a point where they wouldn't come undone, to the point where I had to resort to tying my line to a tree because the wind would keep blowing up the stake on one side, a crucial side. So, but it worked out. I kept doing it because that's all I had, and we made it out. We made it out, and now it's sunny. Gotta dry out all my stuff now. I'm pretty sure over there it's the Mount Washington Auto Road. Cool, cool. When I was reading the far out comments in my tent this morning, people said that the section between Washington and Madison is like Pennsylvania with views. Look at all those rocks, Rocksylvania. I think they're right. I think this is Thunderstorm Junction. Madison Hut, 1 mile. Mount Adams is that way. I don't know whether that's a real top or not. I think it's Cole, 1.3. Man, Thunderstorm Junction, look at this, all these paths. And look at that view. I can see clouds down there. So I thought about backing Adams since it's sunny. However, I am still really cold, and I think I just want a nice and warm bowl of soup after the morning that I've had. So forgive me if I bypass Mount Adams today for just getting to Madison Hut, maybe dry some stuff out and warm some stuff up. It's honestly so cool though. Those clouds. I'm on the side of Adams right now. Ah, it's beautiful. We're keeping walking. I'm literally crying at the thought of making it to Madison and getting something hot because I am chilled. I just feel chilled at the bone right now. I don't have a hat on because both my hats are soaked, so I feel like it's better not to have a hat on. I'm gonna be so happy to see that hut. Can I say that I think God lighted my way for me so that I could get to Madison and didn't have to do all this in the fog. Because now I can see my way. I think as soon as I started heading up, God lighted my way so that I could make it here safe. And now it's just a matter of getting over that hump. I think where I see that sign over there. Madison Hut, 0.3. Whew! Thank goodness. I've made progress. There's Mount Madison right there. That's cool. There's somebody on top. And there's a beautiful Gulf. There's a city or town down there somewhere. There's clouds coming back in, so I want to get down there. I have sighting of refuge. There's finally some trees to break the wind a little bit. Feels so much better. Look at Madison, right below Madison. Well, it's still windy out here, but we'll be staying here at the Madison Hut. They gave me lots of soup and hot chocolate to warm up and allow me to stay here tonight, which I was going to anyway. No doubt that I was gonna go somewhere else and on some exposed ridgeline. So basically, to review what happened, last night stopped where I was at because of gathering darkness, and I was afraid of finding the cairns, the rock cairns in the dark. It's very difficult to find. Maybe I would have been able to, but it seemed like the right choice at the time to try to find some place to wait out the night and then come up in the morning. Did not know it was going to be super windy in the morning, otherwise I probably would have made a different choice. But in the morning, I woke up, the tent had collapsed a few times because the wind was strengthening throughout the night. So we had like 50 to 70, if not more, mile-per-hour gusts. This morning, it wasn't raining, so I packed up and decided to come up to try to get to Madison early. And then that's when the rain started. It was foggy, we were in a cloud, but that wasn't a huge issue until the rain and the wind picked up. So came back down, or actually was caught up there by a rock for a while with rain pelting. It was coming at with like 50 mile-per-hour winds or higher, I think higher. It was getting very wet and very cold quickly. So then we, after laying on a rock for a while trying to shelter from the driving rain, and I really couldn't get up because the wind was so strong, eventually made it way back down to Edmonds Cole, where it started the day, to get some protection again. Set up the tent again. The tent pegs kept coming out because of the wind, so I ended up tying the tent line to a tree, and thankfully that held while I stayed in the tent. I got in the sleeping bag, which got very wet because of all the rain that I had up exposed in the ridgeline. So about 1 o'clock, I heard that the rain died down, and the wind also died down, so I decided to get up and try to make one last push here to Madison Hut, and walked up the hill. It was still foggy, still very difficult to see, and I was afraid that it was going to start raining it again, but I wanted to give it another push to get here. And as I'm walking up, I lost the trail a few times because of the fog, trying to find rock cairn to rock cairn. I wasn't recording much of that because honestly I was a little scared, not knowing if I'd make it out of that. So I was just going rock cairn to rock cairn, retracing my steps at times, and then that's when the sun came out. The sun just came out, and then there were some beautiful views, and I was so thankful for that sun because it lighted my way. And I have reason to believe that someone was watching over me then and let the sun come out to light my way the rest of the way here to Madison Hut. It was really cold, skipped going over Adams, wanted to get here as quickly as I could. We're still really windy, still like 40, 50 mile per hour winds, but at least I could walk. I wasn't getting blown over this time. I just came out here to record this segment because I'm going to go right back inside, but I spent an hour or two warming up inside with some soup. Somebody helped me dry out some of my gear a little bit. It's still a lot of wet, which is why I was hanging some up with the pegs, which really nice pegs in the hut. So made it here, and as soon as I got inside, I kind of just collapsed, and then found some hot soup thanks to the crew here. They were very, very helpful, and I noticed a strange tingling all over my face. I just couldn't stop shaking. It was something that I've never had before, but my guess is it's because of the exposure that I had for an extended amount of time. Eventually it stopped about 30 to 45 minutes later, and then I was able to catch up on text messages and let everyone know it was okay. There was actually a team from the AMC who was texting me too to make sure everything was okay, and it turned out okay. So I let them know that I was okay, that I made it safely, and thankfully I had the 1 bar of service here in order to get some text off. So really thankful to be here. Tomorrow, I just checked the weather forecast, looks like it'll be much better, but yeah, just super thankful to be here and super thankful for that sun that came out earlier today. And the crew noted that they were having search and rescue get ready if they didn't hear from me before too much longer. So that's why they radioed back to Pinkham Notch. A bunch of my family was contacting Pinkham Notch. They contacted Madison to see if I had arrived yet. Of course I hadn't. But survival training kicks in, and figure out the tip is when conditions aren't good, try to find what shelter you can and make it work. And I was able to still use that thinking to make it work. So yeah, super interesting day. I would not do that again, although I think I made reasonable choices. When I walked down Washington yesterday, even though it's going slow, I thought I could make it. My ankle didn't feel that bad, and it still doesn't. I'm not sure if it stopped hurting because of the cold or if it's actually better. I'm hopeful that it's better, but I'll see how it feels overnight when I'm actually warm. It was hurting a little bit last night, but it wasn't hurting when I woke up this morning or at all today. It just felt a little bit stiff, and if I touch it, it hurts a little bit, but it doesn't hurt to walk on it, so that's good. Getting cold now, so going to sign off for the day. Hope you enjoyed this video. There won't be any others like this. And large segments were missing, of course, during the walk because I just wanted to walk. But I also captured some of the views, so I want to remember this day. And yeah, don't ever go up on a ridge line when you can't walk. Too dangerous. Seek safety immediately. I did not keep walking up. I went back down to seek safety, and that's how I got through it. When I was lying down in that rock, I wasn't sure that I'd be able to make it to safely, and wasn't sure that I was going to come out of that. So it's all part of the journey. It's part of the journey. Like I said, tomorrow looks better, and just I'll end it there. I'll have some updates on my Instagram account, same handle, @StickTheEagle. And if you'd like to follow along for the rest of this AT journey, please remember to always embrace the journey. And as always, happy trails.